What's up everyone, welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Now in today's video, I wanted to bring the Lamborghini Huracan STO out because of a very specific comment. Yeah, I read your guys' comments on the videos every time. Very specific comment that someone else put on my videos. On one of the recent videos obviously as well, where it was on the Lamborghini Huracan STO. Of course, a few days has passed, so now I have had a chance to mess around with this thing and basically build it for whatever I wanted. And yeah, this guy's comment read this. In its stock form, it's as slow as the standard Huracan and it sounds nothing like a real thing. It takes quite a few modifications to make it quick and nimble, which is stupid because the real car is an absolute monster. Now this got me thinking, what if I just go and build this thing to the top of S1, completely stock by the way, this thing is not the top of S1. Let me actually go have a look and see exactly what this is. Now, as you can see, there's not much that I've done with the version of the car that I have built versus it being stock. The only thing that I'm pretty sure I've done to this thing is I made it all-wheel drive and I made it lighter than what it is. That's pretty much it. And obviously, as you can see, it is heavier technically than the original car, but I also gave it some better tires, if I remember correctly. So there's not much that I've done to this car because completely stock, this is at 883 in S1, so there's not much more that I can do to get this thing to be like that much more extreme than its original state. So I was like, there's very few mods done to this thing. I gave it some very sticky tires, basically just the racing slick tires. And I was like, what if I build this thing? Because you can already change a bunch of parts on it, you know, with the suspension, transmission, all that sort of stuff. What if I build this thing for the Golden Toga and try to do a really fast time? Because when I first drove this thing in the previous video, and it was completely stock, this drove really well. I really liked the way this drove. And I was like, surely, right, this thing can be a very fast S1 car. I think in S2 it's not going to be that good. But there you go. As you can see, all-wheel drive. So it makes it slightly heavier and I gave it better tires. And that's pretty much it that I've done to this thing. And then I've adjusted a bunch of stuff in terms of suspension and transmission. And even tire pressure and all that sort of stuff, and just added a tune onto this thing, and I've tested it out. And let me tell you, this is a really fast car. It's a really fast car around the Golden Toga. Now, here's the thing. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, you know, leave the video because I said Golden Toga, and I don't really care. But this is a playground. This is a track for me that I love testing cars out on because it lets me see how good they are, how nimble I can make them for specific corners and stuff like that. Of course, there's different cars that are very good for different things, but the Golden Toga is one of the places where I love testing out cars, especially, like I said, making them nimble, just like this guy's comment said. So, I was like, you know what? I'm going to build this thing for the Golden Toga. Alright, I had to restart again because I was driving a bit too fast at the gap and I ended up crashing. There's no point in me showing you guys that run. But all the way up until there, it's so fast. It's so fast. I adore this car, man. For people saying that this thing is mid, honestly, I just don't think you've tried a good tune for it. And I think I've said this in the video as well, when I had my first impressions or whatever, first thoughts of this car. That in S2, it just doesn't feel as fast as some of the other S2 cars, but in S1, this is an absolute lovely car to drive. It's so nice. Seriously try this for yourselves and let me know what you think of it. It is honestly so nice to drive. It's like a straight up race car. I think it's really agile and nimble anyway with mid-engine rear-wheel drive, but obviously once you make it all-wheel drive, it's even more impressive. Oh my god. It's more impressive when you're like pulling out of corners. That is the most impressive thing with this thing in all-wheel drive. It doesn't understeer, it doesn't oversteer too much. Try to be careful when you're doing the sort of when you're lifting off because then it'll oversteer, but if you do it carefully and gently, then you should be fine. Other than that, it is lovely to drive. A little too fast there, that's okay. It's not too bad. God, it's so good. It's so good. The fastest car around the Golden Toga track here in S1 is still the Viper Anniversary Edition. That thing is an absolute monster to drive. But I wanted to build this thing for the Golden Toga to to try see if I can get anywhere close to the Viper. Because it feels like it can. That's what it's like for me. Like, it feels like this can actually get a similar time to the Viper. The Viper, I think, got a 4:08, if I remember correctly. I actually don't have the times up at all. I feel like I remember that time, 4:08. I'll have a look after. But I want to try to see how close I can get there with this car. Because it feels like it can get very close to it. I wouldn't say rival the Viper, but I think I can get close to it. Maybe 412, 413, something like that. I had to slow down. I had to slow down because the last time I crashed. I feel like if I can go full speed there, I can squeeze off quite a few seconds off my time, but I had to slow down. If I want to complete a full lap and do it safely, I had to slow down there. Slight tap off the railing, that's okay, because that didn't really slow me down too much. Have to be careful here. Down at the fourth, nice. Boom, boom. Third. It's so quick, man. Oh my god. Incredibly nice to drive, man. Incredibly nice to drive. Like I said, try it out for yourselves and let me know what you think of it. But I seriously do think that this is one of the better S1 cars in the game. And people are wrong for calling this thing mid. I honestly believe that. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna get a nice 411 with it. If I go full speed through the gap and maybe drive a few corners a little better, I think I can pull this off and actually get a lot closer to the Viper. But there's a 411 with this thing, with a bunch of mistakes. I honestly do think that this is a really, really good car. And like I said, for people calling this thing mid, you're just wrong. Honestly, you just are. It's really, really good to drive. Really, really nice. I love that you can adjust the aero as well on it. You can change pretty much a lot of the stuff on it because it's adjustable without actually having to buy it. Suspension, for example, is the one thing that you can adjust on this thing. Aero you can adjust on this thing. The only thing you have to buy is the front splitter, which I ended up buying on this thing. But building it up to S1, it's so easy to do, and you just don't need extra power. The 630 horsepower that this thing has is more than enough for it to obliterate this track. But I do agree that my driving was a bit poor. I haven't driven this car in a day, so like coming back and actually driving it and just doing kind of 2 runs with it was a bit hard to do. It is quick, so again, you kind of have to get used to it. It's like me hopping on right now. If I take out the Sesto Elemento and try to drive this track, I'll have a lot of difficulty doing it. I'll have to like warm up with a bunch of runs before I actually do a full proper like high speed run. So I'll leave it there with 411 though. 411 is not bad at all with this thing. But yeah, like I said to this guy, he said in its stock form it's slow. It's as slow as the standard Huracan and it sounds nothing like the real thing. It takes quite a few modifications to make it quick and nimble, which I think he's wrong. Because it doesn't take quite a few modifications. It takes very few modifications. It's like 2 mods to do to this car to make it nimble, and that is one of the main thing is the tires. Just give it better tires. Give it the racing tires and that's it. And you can get this thing to be very, very nimble if you just start tuning it with just the tires. Then you can make it so it's all-wheel drive, and that doesn't really change the fact of making it nimble or whatever. That's just more having, you know, acceleration out of corners and stuff like that, which helps a lot. But yeah, it's an absolute monster of a car once you put a few mods on it. And like I said, it's very, very close to the Viper. It's not as fast as the Viper. It's not as good as the Viper, but it's very, very close to it. I think this is right now the second fastest S1 car on this track, and it's like I said, it's barely a few modifications done to it, and it's just a lovely car to drive. Super easy to control, very smooth. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just really, really nice. Well, I think I'm gonna outro the video here. I know it's not a very long video, but I wanted to make this video kind of showcasing how good the Lamborghini Huracan STO actually is, because people were basically calling it mid. They didn't really care about it when it came out too much, and I disagree with people. I think it's a good car. I think it's just people not giving it a chance. People just drive this thing and then put like, if it's not an X class and it doesn't have 3,000 horsepower and it doesn't grip around every corner faster than this or better than the Sesto Elemento, then it's a terrible car. You know, that's what people's I guess thought process is like when they're like thinking a car is either good or bad. If it's not the best car in the game, then it's a bad car. You know what I mean? Which is not the case. Not the case at all. Would I bring this thing on a track and compare it to a Viper? Not in this video, but I definitely do think that there's probably some people that have already made tunes for this thing to go head to head against the Viper. But I think the Viper is just quicker. I think it's a quicker car in terms of acceleration and stuff like that. So I think people are building versions of the Viper with like rally tires or something like that to make it like, I don't know, the grip on that car is just crazy. It's just on a different level to this thing. It just drives very weird compared to this car. But this car just drives like any other car with mods and stuff like that. But the Viper is just something about it, and that's why people are using it to get like records and stuff like that with it. It's just such a good car. But yeah, around a nice complicated track like this, I think the STO is a really good car. Not as good as the Viper by the looks of things, but it's still up there as one of the fastest S1 cars on this track. Yeah. Again, like I said, in S2 I think it's a different story. I think there's much faster cars than this thing in S2. But in S1, I honestly do think that this is a really good car. Well, there you go. That guy's comment spiked the video, or sparked the video, I guess, out of me on this thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know there's not that many people that actually do enjoy watching the Golden Toge videos, but for the people that do enjoy it, thank you for watching. I really do hope you appreciate it. And, or sorry, I really do hope you appreciate it. I appreciate it. The support and the views and the likes and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Huracan STO, it's actually much better than what people think. And, yeah, try it for yourselves. That's it. Thank you for watching, everybody. And I'll see you guys in the next video.